Hi there. I just wanted to post this video because I am one angry mom. And what I'm angry about is what I found in my daughter's world history book last night. My daughter, Sierra, is in 7th grade. She started 7th grade yesterday. And she brought her world history book home last night. And her world history book, which is called World History Medieval to Today, I went through it last night and I was very disturbed by what I found inside this history book. Apparently, there is a chapter in there that discusses the Muslim religion in detail. Now, what I find most disturbing, what I'm most angry about is the fact that supposedly we're supposed to have separation of church and state. We're not even allowed, our kids are not even allowed to say under God in the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay? But apparently the Muslim God is allowed in our history book. Our kids are being taught about Muhammad. We're being taught the Prophet Muhammad. They are being taught about the Muslim God, Allah. Let me read you a paragraph from my daughter's world history book. It states, and this is word for word out of my daughter's history book, the religion of Islam teaches that in about 610, the Prophet Muhammad went into a cave in the Arabian mountains to pray. A prophet is a person who is regarded as speaking for God. It is said that while Muhammad was inside the cave, he heard the voice of an angel. God told Muhammad through the angel that there was only one God, that God had created people, and that God would teach his people. The angel told Muhammad that Muhammad was to be God's messenger. Okay, what is this doing in our world history books? I want to know. Okay? I want to know now. And that's not the end of it. No. This is just not one little paragraph about the Muslim religion. No. On another page in the book, the kids are being taught about the 5 pillars of the Muslim belief system, which is basically the 5 pillars of the Muslim religion. Why do our kids need to know this? Unless they're going to become followers of the Muslim religion. You don't see Christianity being taught anywhere in the world history book. When Christianity is mentioned as part of world history in the book, it just says Christianity. It doesn't say what Christianity is about. It doesn't mention what Christianity is about just beyond the word Christianity. We have no idea what it is. It's not explained. Islam gets 3 or 4 pages explaining it. What is that about? You know, our kids can't use Christianity or God in any form in our schools. But Islam, Muslim, Allah, he's in our world history books. The Quran is in our world history books. When did that happen? It ticks me off to no end. Okay? Now, I don't have a problem with the Muslim religion. I don't have a problem with any religion. I believe everyone should be allowed to believe whatever they want, as long as it does no harm to any others or animals. I firmly believe in freedom of religion. Okay? That's fine with me. But if you're going to teach kids about the Muslim faith in our world history books, then you should be teaching the kids about Christianity in the world history books, about the Chinese beliefs in the world history books, about Buddhism in the world history books, about the Native American belief system in the world history book. You should be teaching about religious beliefs across the board in the world history book, not just about Muslims. The way it is set up now, that's the only religious beliefs that are mentioned in the world history book. What's that about? I am fed up to the end with this crap. Okay? Our soldiers are dying in the desert How are they going to feel when they come back and find out that this crap is being taught in the history books? I'm fed up. It's a bunch of bullshit. Our kids are not allowed to mention God. They're not allowed to say God in the Pledge of Allegiance because of atheists. Atheists don't want the word of God mentioned in there. Well, why is the Muslim God in our world history books then? He's all over the place there. It's mind-boggling that this has gotten into the 7th grade world history books. And I am fed up with this crap. When did this become legal? Okay? It's mind-boggling. When did parents okay this? It was never mentioned to me that it was going to be in the 7th grade books. How many other parents agreed to have this in their books? They just slip it in there. You know, I don't think any one of us agreed to this. And it drives me crazy. This is the way society is. Our governments, they don't get our okay on any of this. They just decide what they're going to educate our children with. They just decide that they're going to put in biases like this, that they're going to create this kind of racism in our world history books, so that the only important religion that was important enough to put in the world history books is Islam, because no other religion is important enough to be described as the Muslim religion. So Christianity, that's not important. That's banned from schools. Buddhism, that's not important enough. That's banned from schools. Native American religion, that's not important enough. That's banned from schools. Every other religion, banned from schools. The only religion that makes it into the world history books and is described is Muslims, Islam. That's it. How did that happen? I'm sorry, America, that's what it's come to. That is what living in the United States has come to. That's what our kids are being taught. That's the world we live in. And when did we decide that this was going to be our world? I am sick to death with this crap. Okay? This society has become racist towards Americans. Now, we've become a Muslim state. When did this happen? I don't know. Now, our kids are being pushed towards Muslimism. I don't, what? Are we raising our kids now to be under the Muslim faith? I'm fed up to death with this crap. Over 3,000 Americans died in 2011. And we're doing this to our kids? Either we have equality in this country and equality towards religions, or we have separation of church and state. That means that if you can't have one religion in schools, then you can't teach any religion in school. And that includes Muslim belief system. You're not going to teach Christianity. You're going to ban Christianity. That's fine. Islam, Muslim religion, stays out of the school just like the rest of ours. Okay? Ban one, ban them all. You don't get to slip one in under the line. That's not fair. That's prejudiced. You're not going to be prejudiced against one and not all the rest. We're not putting up with this crap in the States anymore. And you're not going to slip crap like this in the world history book and you're not going to play on the fact that most parents, or the majority of parents apparently, don't look in their kids' history books. And parents, I suggest that you start cracking open your kids' books and you start looking in your kids' history books, because this is what our government is doing. They're slipping stuff into the kids' history books that we don't know about. They don't tell us what they're doing. They're not informing us of the crap that they slip in. I haven't finished with my daughter's world history book. Now I gotta go through the whole dang thing because I don't know what else that they've slipped in there. You can't trust our government. You can't trust them with anything. I don't know what other crap they've slipped into there that's going to tick me off. I got to go through the whole dang thing now. God only knows what else is in there. But I'm telling you, parents, you cannot trust our school system. You cannot trust the government. You have got to watch what is coming home in your kids' textbooks. You got to go through these things, because these textbooks, the book that my daughter brought home, That book has been in circulation since 2008, which means kids in 7th grade have been taught this crap since 2008, and no one has noticed it. I'm the first parent that notices it. That's sad. That's how many kids have been taught this since then. We have got to pay more attention to our kids' education. Or yes, this will be the state of affairs. And am I the only person in this country that cares about this? Has it gotten that bad? Does no one else care? Does no one else care that only one religion is making it into the school textbooks and everybody else's is banned? Well, maybe that's the case. Maybe that's where it's gotten to in America. And if that's the case, then I guess it's sad. Maybe I'm the only one that cares about it anymore. Maybe I'm the only one that is upset about this. Maybe that's the case. And maybe everybody's just going to ignore this video like they do everything else. And if that's the case, then so be it. But at least I aired my feelings. At least I got it off my chest. And at least that's going to make me feel better. But I hope to God, for the sake of our children, that that's not the case. And I hope that if nothing else comes out of this video, that parents will start opening up their kids' textbooks. They'll start reading what's in those textbooks, and they'll start paying a little better attention to what's being taught. Because you can't count on the school districts to tell you what they're teaching your kids. You can't count on the government to tell you what they're teaching your kids. You have got to be proactive in your kids' education. You've got to, I'm sorry, you got to be paranoid. I'm paranoid. I read what's in my kids' textbooks. I want to know what they're teaching my kids. I want to make sure that they're teaching my kids accurate history. Because history by its definition is generally decided by the government that happens to be in power at that time. And we've been taught biased history throughout history. So I want my kids to learn accurate history. So if they're being taught something that's not necessarily true, I want to know about it so that I can make corrections, so I can teach them the right history. Even if it not necessarily, paints the U.S. in the best light. Because we haven't always done the right thing. There's plenty of times the U.S. has not been in the right when we have done things we should not have done. And I want the kids to learn from those mistakes. So I'm saying what I'm trying to accomplish, besides being in a mad rant on this whole thing and being really angry, is I want parents to learn from this. I want you to be proactive in your children's education. We need to crack those books open. We need to look at what our kids are learning. Otherwise, if we just sit back and rely on the government or rely on the school district to teach our kids, then yeah, we have no idea what our kids are learning. We have no idea what their young minds are being molded to. And as I learned from my daughter's history book last night, she's learning things and being taught things that I don't necessarily agree with. And I'm not going to be quiet about. So please be more proactive.